So, Avengers Endgame is now in theaters, and this is a highly, highly anticipated film. 22 films now, the MCU. That's crazy. This is a franchise that's been going on since 2008, and 11 years in the making, it's finally here. Avengers Endgame, the plot, all I'm going to say is it's the follow-up to Avengers Infinity War. Not going to spoil Avengers Infinity War, but it's the follow-up of the events that ensued in said film. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get to the positive of this film. Firstly, the characters in the film were incredible. There are certain characters that didn't really get that much development in previous films that in this film had development. The character development in this film is fully realized. I loved how this film realized that you can have a superhero film where there's not a lot of superhero stuff going on. You can break it down and actually have it where these are characters that are actually going about the story in an organic and fully realized way. I loved it. I loved the first half. I think it was incredible just to see these characters not doing a lot of action, just talking. You know, a lot of dialogue-driven scenes that were really serious and were actually kind of emotional, I'm not going to lie. Showing the aftermath of the events of Infinity War was also really cool because it really showed off not only the production design, but also the storytelling of the Russo brothers. I also really liked the story. I think it was very effective. It made me appreciate certain things in Infinity War that I didn't like because, for me personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of Infinity War. I thought it was okay. I think it was okay, and I thought the ambitions of it were kind of like hampered by the fact that certain things that happen in it, you know, are kind of like going to get thrown away with the Avengers films following, but that's another story altogether. My point being is that I think this story was fully realized. It showed so much that you can have a film that does have humor, but only sprinkles it in. It sprinkles it in only when it's needed. It can be serious for the most part, and I like that because so many Marvel movies aren't serious. They're not focused on that. And I liked how this movie actually was serious for the most part, at least in the first half. Also, I just wanted to mention that the final 10 minutes of this film are really emotional. One could argue that it might feel like fan service, but for me personally, it was fan service mixed with 11 years of development and payoffs of characters that were just really, really satisfying, I felt. Like I felt like it was satisfying on not only a storytelling perspective, but also just as a fan perspective. I think you'll really dig it. If you haven't seen the film yet, I think you'll really dig it. Also, I think that this movie had a really good sound design. Like, the sound was incredible. The score wasn't incredible, but it was definitely more memorable than the past several Marvel scores, except obviously Black Panther, which is probably hands down the best Marvel score. But I think overall this film definitely hit the marks a lot on many different things. I think if you're going into this film expecting a character-driven, slow-burn film, I think you'll really dig it. Does it have some, fan service, action-heavy moments towards the end? Yeah, which is kind of where I fall into negatives. So as much as I enjoyed this film, and trust me, I know probably a lot of people watching this that know me are probably blown away at the fact that I actually liked a Marvel film. I liked it because, for the most part, it was willing to balance fan service with character and storytelling that felt earned. And that's a hard balance. But in the final act, I feel like it was kind of almost like, you know what? We're done with this thoughtful, meaningful, important dialogue-heavy scenes. Let's get the action because a lot of these people are probably wanting to see this. And I was okay with the first 2 minutes of what I'm talking about with the final act. But after a while, it just became, what's the word, CGI overload. And again, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying, like, I felt like it was just CGI overload in the second half. Specifically the final act. That's all I'm going to say, the final act specifically. But I think that this film had enough twists and turns where I'm like, you know what? I can understand it. It's 11 years of just, build up, let people just enjoy the action. But for me personally, it's kind of like a Batman v Superman situation. I know I'm mentioning the opposing side, but it's kind of like that movie where, the first 2/3 are really, really good, and then it just kind of dips a little bit in quality where it's like, This movie's kind of like that, except the difference is I'm going to be able to look at this film and say, you know what? It's the final film in this franchise of, you know, these 22 films. I can understand why they would do what they did. But the other thing that I just want to say, and I know obviously Marvel's not going to watch this review, but I wish that they would fix the color palette, you know, the cinematography, because in the final act, it was especially noticeable that the color grading just wasn't that good. It really wasn't. I know that's a problem with many Marvel movies, but I just kind of wish that it was fixed. Like, I think some of it worked in the first half, but it's still the type of thing where it's like, really? Like, that's how you're grading the film, like with the color? It just didn't work totally for me. But overall, it's an enjoyable film. Avengers Endgame is an enjoyable, satisfying film that works on a character, story, and just overall arc of a film of all these heroes, you know, for now 22 films that you get to experience. I think it's a film that, you know, as a casual fan, you'll like it. As a hardcore fan, you'll love it. Check it out. Check out Avengers Endgame. It's not perfect by any means, but it's still an enjoyable film. And Avengers Endgame, for me personally, I'll be giving it a 4 out of 5 star rating, which, for those like a hot sauce rating, it's a good old Louisiana pure crystal hot sauce. So, yeah, I didn't think I would be giving out this rating to this movie, to be honest. But, yeah, that's my spoiler-free, review. I'm not going to lie, it was very difficult to do because I hate spoilers, but at the same time, I feel like when you watch the trailer and just kind of realize how little they actually showed in that trailer versus the movie, you're like, wow, that's kind of hard to talk about this film after seeing it. It really is. But nonetheless, if you guys have seen the film, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on how you liked it. And if you're going to do spoilers in the comment section, just make a note of it, and I'll obviously notate, you know, and respond, because I am all about talking about the spoilers after you've seen the film, of course. So, enough of that exposition. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of Avengers Endgame. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.